on the couch having fun is G-Man, Cal, Shane and Tony. We're discussing news that matter, news that's got our attention and news that's gone viral this week. So the biggest story of the week is the shooting, and in fact he was named not just an unarmed black man but Walter Scott. Shane.
Yeah, it's something that came to my mind. I was sat at home and I actually saw it on CNN News, which is obviously the American news channel. And this story kept looping round and looping round. I was in my room for about 20 minutes. I must have seen it 20 times. So obviously it caught my eye. Eventually, yeah. So I obviously decided to listen to the story, and I've looked further into it. And it's obviously about a gentleman being pulled up in his car, a routine checkup. There's an altercation with the policeman. He tries to do a run and he gets shot 8 times in the back. Apparently that's quite routine in America. After watching it a few times myself, there's obviously 1 or 2 things that don't ring right with me. Actually seeing the policeman watch the gentleman run across the park. There's actually, I've never had no gun before. I've never shot a gun in my life, but I've been around people. I've actually been on a shooting range as well, and I see smoke and I see sparks coming from guns when you shoot it. I don't see anything on the clipping that I've seen. I don't see any sparks or any smoke or anything coming from the gun. So you see, you can pass on that, I suppose. The next thing is the gentleman gets shot 8 times, still manages to run. I don't know anyone that's been shot 8 times and still carry on to be able to run, but then eventually he collapses to the floor, and that's all right. So you pass that on too. The third one is there's a bystander who's actually videoing it all. And he gets within 15 feet of actually what's happened. You can't see any blood. There's no bullet wounds whatsoever. So you obviously start questioning and asking yourself. Now I've learnt to do this. Obviously, when I see something that's, and it's obviously from being around G and Cal and the likes Tony, that I start to question things a lot more when I see things like this. And you ask yourself, why are they doing it? If it isn't real, why are they doing it? What are they trying to achieve? And all I can see is they're trying to, the old divide and conquer routine that they're trying to pick up on. They're trying to stir racial hate within America. It keeps coming on the television. It's a white cop that has shot an unarmed black man. You know what I mean? And they're the words that people hear. They watch that. They won't look into it. They'll just see this policeman shooting an unarmed black man in the back. You know what I mean?
So do you believe this story's not true or real?
I don't believe it's true. From what I've seen on the clip and what I've looked at, no, I don't believe it's true 100%, no.
I agree.
Okay, let's move to someone else. Thanks for the story. Why would they show something like this negatively if it's not real?
Charlie Hebdo. You go back to the time of the Charlie Hebdo situation. That's the French publication, and they show you the policeman getting shot on the street. But they didn't show you him getting shot. Just as he's about to be shot, they tell you, it freezes it, and the reporter narrates the shooting and the blood, etc., etc. Now, when you see other footage, you realise it never happened. There's no shooting. They fired at him, but it was like 12 inches away from his head, and the policeman turned his head after the explosion, after the shooting. So why did they do that? To bring in some draconian measures into France and change the law, boost the publication of the magazine, talk about free speech when in fact nullify free speech, controlled free speech. It's not free if it's controlled, And so it's to do those kind of things. Secondly, when you look at the footage of the reports afterwards, you see the family are there, and the family are doing press conferences, and you'll see around the family a few people will be wearing what's the colour now? It's like a lilac colour, like a violet colour, ties and stuff like that, which denotes that they're part of the Illuminati. That it's an Illuminati production, for want of a better word. So when you see all this, and people think, oh well, black people were featured in their black anchors in terms of media people, and the family were black, so how can black people be corrupted? You put enough money on the table, and anybody's corrupted. In Jamaica, you put down $15 and say kill somebody, and it says that much, So yeah,
it's a fantastic angle to the story, Shane. I really like it. I'm also asking the question: is it in any shape or form I can't think of the word. Think about Ferguson.
So Alex.
No, not so Alex.
Okay.
The town.
Yes.
When you think about Ferguson, and people were so angered by that the cop didn't go to prison.
Yes.
Is this some kind of bandage, that's the only way I can think of, a band-aid to appease people. That it looks like people are being, justice is being done if they set it up.
No, you're 100% right. If you look at the thing in Ferguson, the people involved in doing what they did aren't being penalised. This fictitious individual is being penalised. Now, some would say, yes, but it's he's still going to be prosecuted. There's reports saying he will not go to prison.
Yes.
Right, so, it's like, there you are, we're controlling this, we're going to make sure it never happens again, and there you are, you've got what you want. Again, another controlled story. What you want is a lot of them out of office, and that's all around the world. And people say it will never happen. Within 7 to 8 years, it will happen because they will have chosen the wrong side. But what you need is people to recognise that these controlling influences are negative controls.
And I'm thinking back to, the racist attack in Paris when the black man was pushed on the train.
On the train, yeah.
Yeah. When we spoke about that last time, we said, never mind filming it, help.
Yes.
And this guy, like you said, Shane, managed to get, was it 15 feet? This close to record it. Not only record it when the guy's being shot, but record the cop picking up the taser and putting it next to the...
Great footage.
Yeah.
Clearly he needs to be working for CNN because
he probably is working for CNN, let's be honest.
He's got mad skills. And I'm glad that Shane brought the story because you see, this is the honest truth. When you are of a certain race, you don't want to offend another race type thing. It's all about being, PC.
Yeah.
My brother is not being PC, he's being straight, and that's what I prefer. A straightness and bringing the story straight. It gives everybody the opportunity to analyse it straightly. Don't get fooled with this colour thing. The colour should not stop the story being told. And the fact that they've done this again, and the people who are all part of it, there's a price to pay. If you deceive the people, there's going to come a time when you will have to pay the price for your deception.
But you've also got to realise this as well. Do you remember the Boston bombings that happened and how they created martial law?
Yes.
And everybody was locked down. Nobody could not come out. And everybody was complicit. They all said, no problem, we'll stay in our houses. We'll be on lockdown, we'll be on curfew. This could be the precursor to a riot going to happen because this man's been shot in the back.
Yes.
The man's running away. Clearly, the guy's not got a gun. So it's going to create aggravation in the uninformed black community because all they're going to look at is the TV. Right? That'll cause a riot. And what's going to happen in them sort of areas, especially Michigan, them places like that? They're going to lock them down and say, at certain times of the night, you cannot come out. At certain times of the day, you cannot do this. If you are, you're going to have to carry an identity card. It's all part of the system. They bring it in slowly, and the reason why they bring it in slowly is because you forget what happened a week ago. You forget the last news story 2 weeks ago.
And actually, we haven't got time to discuss it now, but we will put a link to it. Is the story you brought, G, about how they control us.
Yes.
That links in very much with what Carl's saying, but there's a link to watch it.
No problem. I mean, you have to remember, if you are a wise strategist and you want to bring something in, imagine to yourself, right, I want to ultimately sit there. So what I would do, I'd say, you know what, I'm not being funny, sis, you're not doing a very good job. I should be sitting where you're sitting. Argument. So to appease me, what do you say? Sit near to me.
Yeah.
You see, so
Well, actually, I'd say sit here.
there you are. But ultimately, you see, what you do, you've got to remember is what is their agenda,
Yeah.
and it may not be done in one move, but it may be done in two.
Yes.
And it's all about understanding what the moves are available. When you explore all the moves, and you can understand what they're trying to do. Like my argument is the moon landings. Spending all that money getting up into the moon. Think about it, kind of thing. If you want to siphon off taxpayers' money, you're going to give them something that makes them feel proud that they're spending the money. What greater pride would they get than being first on the moon, aka not on the moon? So you can siphon billions from the public by telling them we're going to the moon. If you look at the whole moon thing, right, from man walking very slowly on the moon in slow motion and landing very heavily onto the dust on a moon where there's no gravity, and people just forget, and the wind blowing the flag, no gravity. And what people don't, they suspend their logic based on a film, and people go, that's not true. Okay then, How many people went to go and watch Superman? A man who can fly. Oh, millions. Broke box office records. So you believe a man can fly? No, but it's Superman, isn't it? You know? So when you watch a film, if you watch it long enough, you suspend your logic. Watch the news, you suspend your logic. Look at Jill Dan that was killed all those years ago. To this day, we don't know why.
Yeah.
Simple, little, beautiful sister that's got killed. And the man that was supposed to have committed it, released early. So if it's not him, who was it then?
Then who? Let's move on. Cal, you haven't brought us a story yet. Let's go with the vicious circle of having no internet.
Yeah, this is one thing that really knocks me because I've been in this position before where I was broke, I had no money.
Last week.
And basically, you know, I found it very difficult to survive on the money that the government feel that we should be surviving on. And my point is as technology grows, the poor become more impoverished because they can't afford the technology to do what they need to do. And I'm saying, well, people will say, well, they don't need an iPhone, they don't need this. That's not the point. The point is this. To apply for jobs nowadays, you have to be on the net. So that will automatically incur a monthly fee for internet. Not many companies will do dial-up anymore. AOL's the only one that really still does it. Still got quite a few users, but you have to pay for broadband. So you're looking at a substantial cost. The government put it in place so that companies are allowed to make you buy a phone line in order to get a broadband. You can't buy them separately, and if you do, they're extortionate. Virgin do it quite particularly. They're £28 they charge for broadband, but if you take it with the phone, you get it for something like £7.50 or £8 a month. Right, so how's a person on a benefit going to afford that? Secondly, how are they going to afford a computer? Right, so what this government put in place was 6,000 terminals across the country for people to be able to access them, right, in job centres.
And the library.
Yeah, and the libraries. But the problem with that is, as the population grows through migration of people who are coming here trying to find jobs are using those resources. At the moment, there's about 800,000 job seekers on the job seekers allowance who are looking for it. And they have to actively do 35 hours a week of job applications. That's what the quota is. It's quite different from when I was employed, yeah? So to do 35 hours a week, you've got to be able to use those terminals. So if you work the maths out, you can't, those terminals are not sufficient. People are having to queue up for hours at the library. And the consequence of that is, because they monitor what you're doing, they then stop your benefits.
Oh dear.
So people from impoverished areas like Hull, Huddersfield, Newcastle, them sort of areas, are being denied their housing benefit, the job seekers allowance, any other benefit, are basically being made homeless, right? And the government are doing nothing about it. So what I don't understand is, you want people to be actively working, you take all industry abroad, outsource it, and you want us to look for jobs. People are quite clearly saying, I got access to a computer now, I can get it, you have a 2-hour slot, but I can't find any jobs to apply for. So isn't that just a vicious circle that's happening at the moment? And who are we going to blame it on? We're going to blame it on the migrants coming to this country who are taking the jobs. Well, isn't that your problem for not... And I'm not saying stop the migrants coming in, because that's what makes a country rich. In whatever country you go, the different diversification of people is what makes that country rich. Otherwise, you'd have a linear approach to how you are, yeah? But what you've got to also look at this is, if you're going to allow those people in by being part of the European Union, who you pay billions a year to, shouldn't you be considering, rather than doing Trident and all these other projects, putting a small, and I'm not talking a big percentage because Trident is huge, just take 10% out of Trident. Put that towards increasing allowances and grants to companies that want to start. Creating bigger infrastructure. There's a problem with dentists now as well. You can't get dentists. I've had to pay nearly £1,000 for my missus to get her teeth done, right? Which would cost me on the NHS something like £200.
Now I'm alright with my teeth, bro.
Yeah. but what I'm saying is, I rang 17, 18 dentists trying to get hold of. And
the system isn't designed.
No. So you can go to this Nick for what's his name? Is it Nick Farage?
Nigel Farage.
Nigel Farage. You go down that route of blame migrants, which is what they're showing you on the TV. But what you're failing to look at is, where's the infrastructure? If you're going to allow it in through the European Union, why are you not building infrastructures? Why are you not increasing the schools? Why are you not increasing doctors? Why are you not doing these things?
Yeah.
These are key things that
Because
you.
the system isn't designed for success.
Carl's spot on.
Yeah.
The problem you've got, right, is if you go back to like 1947, 1948, when they opened the borders for people to be able to come to the country. So you had the Windrush generation from the Caribbean all came over, and people from the Asian subcontinent came over in 1948, and from there, on an average, it's roughly 30,000 people come into the country. Don't know how many leave, but roughly on average, it's 30,000. Over the last 5-6 years, the average per year is 300,000 coming into the country. So it tells you, right, that it's not that it's unregulated. They've allowed the numbers to come in to create the problem,
Yes.
to do what they're going to do next, which is to say, stop the lot of them from coming in. Next thing you know, come out to the country.
G, enlightening. Thank you very much.
Okay.
There's power in community. There's power in getting alongside people who believe in the same thing. Connect with us, ZeN.com. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
Thanks, G. Thanks, Cal. Thanks, Shane. Until